Monday, March 11, 2024. Latam Flight 800, operated by Chilean airline Latam and designated as LA 800, had departed from Sydney bound for Auckland International Airport, with 263 passengers on board and 9 flight and cabin crew. About two-thirds of the way into the 3-hour flight, the pilot seemingly announced to the passengers and crew on board that he had just lost control of his Boeing 787 after one of its instruments failed. This plane has just suffered an unknown technical malfunction that made it suddenly drop abruptly mid-flight, sending shockwaves of horror through both passengers and crew. This is an evolving story, and the details will change as we know more. Brian Jocat, a passenger on the flight, recounted the startling moment when the Boeing 787-9 Dreamliner suddenly dropped mid-flight, approximately two-thirds of the way into the journey. Describing the eerie calm prior to the incident, he recalled how the aircraft had been flying smoothly. Without warning, the plane experienced a rapid descent, catching passengers off guard. Jocat, fortunately to have his seatbelt fastened, witnessed the fellow passenger catapulted into the air, colliding with the ceiling. The scene turned surreal as Jocat likened it to a scene from a horror movie, with the unsecured passenger momentarily suspended above him before crashing back to the floor, sustaining injuries in the process. People flew into the ceiling. It truly was horror come to life. Several others also suffered injuries, with some striking the ceiling, causing damage to the plane's interior. Amidst the chaos, screams filled the cabin as the aircraft momentarily nosedived before stabilizing. Jocat recounted an interaction with the pilot after the plane had landed safely. Curious about what had transpired, Jocat asked the pilot for an explanation. The pilot revealed that there had been a momentary loss of instrumentation, which caused the sudden disturbance, but thankfully, the instruments regained functionality shortly afterward. Jocat sensed the pilot's remorse for the ordeal that passengers had endured. Passenger Priscilla Waller-Subritsky recounted her experience, describing how she was engrossed in a movie when the plane unexpectedly plummeted, causing chaos inside the cabin. Numerous individuals, including passengers and crew members, were violently thrown upwards, colliding with the aircraft's ceiling. Reacting swiftly, Waller-Subritsky and other uninjured passengers sprang into action, assisting where they could as the crew, themselves injured, struggled to manage the situation. However, once the initial adrenaline rush subsided, the full extent of injuries became apparent, with many experiencing considerable pain. Emergency services swiftly responded to the distress call, with 14 units from Hatahone St. John rushing to the airport. Upon arrival, they attended to approximately 50 individuals with varying degrees of injuries. One person was in serious condition, while the rest suffered from moderate to minor injuries. 10 patients were transported to Middlemore Hospital, one to Auckland City Hospital, and another to Starship Hospital. Another passenger, Daniel, shared his disbelief at the ordeal, stating that despite 15 years of flying experience, he had never encountered anything like it. He recounted the harrowing moments when the plane sharply dipped, causing around 30 individuals to forcefully collide with the ceiling. Amidst the chaos, screams filled the cabin, and Daniel described the difficulty in distinguishing between red wine and blood splattered across the interior. In the aftermath, onboard medical professionals, aided by the flight crew, attended to the injured passengers, providing immediate care and assistance. He noted that there were several individuals who suffered serious injuries, including broken bones and injuries to the neck and head. Valentina, another passenger, shared her harrowing experience with RNZ. She recounted how the plane abruptly came to a halt approximately 50 minutes before reaching Auckland. Chaos ensued as passengers were thrown about, with some sustaining injuries. Valentina described the scene as frightening, with blood visible on the ceiling and portions of the plane's interior damaged due to the force of the impact. According to a report in the Wall Street Journal, though, investigators are considering the possibility that a mistake in the cockpit, rather than a fault with the Boeing aircraft itself, may have caused the sudden descent of the plane. The report, based on information from unnamed U.S. industry officials briefed on the initial findings of the investigation, suggests that a flight attendant may have accidentally activated a switch on the pilot's seat while serving a meal. This action could have triggered a motorized feature, pushing the pilot into the controls and causing the plane's nose to pitch downward. Fortunately, the pilot was able to regain control and safely land the aircraft. During the plunge, numerous passengers were injured, with some being thrown upwards and colliding with the cabin ceiling. One passenger recounted being informed by a pilot that he had lost control of the plane when his gauges suddenly went blank. That is a different angle to what information is being released to the media. Could there be something else at play here behind the scenes? This incident raises concerns about potential safety issues for Boeing, which has faced ongoing challenges with the safety and quality of its commercial jets. The spotlight now, unsurprisingly, lies on Boeing and its series of failures. The Latam 787 is still a developing case, an unfolding investigation. Where it goes from here and who's to blame remains to be seen. But one thing is for sure, you can count on us to report everything.